Hey everyone, it's me, Ranger Chris. How you doing? We're here at the Natural History Museum today in London, and we are here to have an interview with a very cool guy, Professor Paul Barrett. He's inside waiting for us, so we're going to head on in and we're going to have a good old chat about dinosaurs and some of the cool stuff that's inside this amazing place. So let's go! We're here in the Natural History Museum in London, and you're not going to believe who we have managed to get a cool interview with. It's only Professor Paul Barrett. Now, Professor Paul Barrett is one of the leading paleontologists here in the museum, and we've got a chance to meet him, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. We've got all of your questions, and we are going to ask him some of those that you put in the YouTube and on the Facebook link. So we're going to go and find him. It's a big place, and I don't know where I'm going to go, but someone told me it's towards that way, so I don't even know. I'll ask someone. Paul Barrett, I bought these two with me because they like to
help.
Yeah, they're going to help. Going to hold the camera. But we're here, and we're going to go and find him now, and then we're going to give a very cool interview. We may even go and see the Patagotitan.
Well, we're definitely going to see that, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Let's go. Now that I've come upstairs, you can see this amazing hall. The amazing whale, and how big it is. It's absolutely incredible, guys, this place. You could spend hours in here, hours and hours. Look where I am, and look who I'm with. Is Professor Paul Barrett. Say hello, Paul.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
So, boys and girls, everyone who's on, we have been privileged to come here, and thank you so much for letting us come along to the amazing Natural History Museum in London. And we go live every week, Paul. We meet an amazing bunch of children who absolutely love dinosaurs. And lots of them have actually come up with some really good questions.
Cool.
That I'd love to ask you, and obviously you can tell them your answer. So, let's
happy.
go. So, Paul, am I right in saying you're a paleontologist?
That's exactly what I am.
So, could you kind of explain what is being a paleontologist? What exactly is a paleontologist?
So a paleontologist is someone who uses fossils to work out about the life of the past. So they can be fossils of anything. They can be fossils of shells, they can be fossils of dinosaurs, they can be fossil plants, but using those fossils to actually tell us something about how life has changed over time and what past worlds were like.
So from fossils, you can find out loads of information, I take it. Could you find out the age of a dinosaur and things like that?
You can use those fossils to find out a lot of the same things we'd find out about any living animal or plant. So we could work out how old it was, we could work out what it's feeding on, we might be able to work out how fast it moved or if it didn't move. So we're looking at all the same questions that people who work on living animals or plants think about. It's just that our main source of information is those fossils coming out of the rocks rather than going outside and looking at those things living outside around us.
So using modern day creatures that are around today and looking at their bone structures and everything and looking at fossils, you can kind of work out
Exactly
speeds.
right.
Awesome. That is so cool. So when people do say, like, what's the fastest dinosaur, we've got an answer for it.
Yeah, we tried. So we used their skeletons to work out how quickly they might have moved. We used looking at the bones. We then clove those bones in muscles by comparing it with things like crocodiles and lizards and birds. And then we can use that information to think about how well those muscles worked, and eventually we get to a speed.
See, it's so awesome. This is why fossils are so important. This is why when I show you some of our fossils or replicas, and you ask me so many questions, we kind of know the answers, and it's really mind blowing. Okay, on to question number 2. So, being a paleontologist, Paul, what kind of got you into it? What sort of spurred you on into being a paleontologist?
I mean, for me, it was dinosaurs, always dinosaurs to start with, but I'm interested in all sorts of other things as well. But this goes back to when I was about 6 years old. So my mum, who's not a very good source of information about me, said that this goes back to when I was a tiny kid, and she bought me the Lazy Bird book of dinosaurs. And I've still got that book somewhere, not here in the office, but it's at home. And actually that was the book apparently that got me really hooked. And so from that point, it was more books about dinosaurs from the local library. It was visiting here because I grew up just outside London, so coming to visit the museum was something as well.
Yeah.
And then everything I could find on TV that was about dinosaurs, dinosaur toys. As you can see, there are probably quite a lot of dinosaur toys around this
place
room
is
as well.
awesome. It's a trove. I like it. I like it a lot.
So yeah, for me it was that, and it's because they're kind of a detective story. So if I want to know what a living animal does, if I was really patient and really good at my job, I could just go outside, spend a lot of time looking at it, and solve that problem just by watching. But with dinosaurs, they've been extinct a long time, so you have to like fill in the gaps. So it's a bit like being a little bit like Sherlock Holmes. You know, you have to take these clues and use them to try and work out what they were like. And that problem-solving bit, plus the fact they were really cool animals, is what really attracts me.
Yeah. I get that. So it's like the mystery of them. But so when you opened that book, what sort of dinosaur? What one made you look and go, whoa? You know,
when I was a kid.
When you were a kid.
My favourite dinosaur, without doubt, was Triceratops. I used to love Triceratops.
Good choice. Very good choice.
Really, I still have a very soft spot for it. But when I was a kid, that was by far my favourite one. And I think it was because it looked sort of like a unicorn. So it looked a little bit like a kind of mythological animal thing from the legends.
Yeah.
And it also looked a bit like it should look really good like on a shield or something. If you imagine like a medieval knight riding around, it's the sort of animal you want on your shield or your suit
like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Exactly. So like really
Triceratops. I like that.
Unbelievably powerful animal.
I like that. So we go live weekly, Paul, and we got lots of viewers that come on. And one of our top viewers, ronnierex, that's his name, on YouTube, he's asked you, what is the oldest fossil that's in the museum?
Oh my goodness, that's a really
and I think he's going down the dinosaur route here. So that's sort of, you know, we can.
That makes my life a lot easier. If we're thinking about the oldest fossil, we're talking about stuff
I
like
get that.
billion years old. So the oldest dinosaur fossil we've got is probably a thing called Nyasasaurus. And Nyasasaurus is not a very well-known dinosaur. It's only been named for a few years. And it's also not very well known in the sense that we don't know a lot about its skeleton. It's known from only a handful of bones. One upper arm bone and a few bones from the back and the hips. And we think that this might be the earliest dinosaur fossil we know about. It's about 240 million years old.
Nyasasaurus. So Triassic.
Triassic, but from the middle part of the Triassic, so older than more familiar Triassic dinosaurs like Plateosaurus, things like that.
I get that.
So it's about 240 million years old, and this would be if that's true, it would make it the oldest dinosaur that we know about at the moment.
I like it. So that's so early Triassic, no dinosaurs then that we know of. So as of
not
yet,
even any that people have said.
No, So mid. Awesome, very cool. Okay, ronnierex has got another question, and the other question was. You've got the new Patagotitan exhibit, and I know you say it a little bit differently to me, but I've always said Patagotitan. But so what was it like first seeing that, you know, up close and personal?
Oh, it's just amazing. I think I've seen a lot of dinosaur bones, and I've seen a lot of big dinosaurs, and it's kind of, it's just going to be another big dinosaur, but this is a really big dinosaur. And I think you really only get it when you stand underneath it. So it's huge and it's impressive just when you first see it. It's 37 meters long, so it's 12 meters long than Dippy. So it's huge. But it's when you stand underneath it and you realize how big its stomach and its chest was. You can spread your arms like this and still not reach either side
inside it.
So yeah, I think actually you could probably live inside it if you wanted to. It's a really big space, and when you're standing it looking up, you get this real impression of just how enormous it is.
Or they could have lunch in it.
You could.
Like they did in that, what was it?
The model of the
Iguanodon, that's right.
You could probably fit more people in a Patagotitan so you can have more friends around.
That's actually quite good. I like that. Yeah, big party, a big one. And talking of the biggest dinosaur, now they're saying this is one of the biggest, and I know in paleontology the biggest is kind of sometimes a surprise. Yeah, but do you think that that's as big as they could get, or do you think that they would get bigger? Now this is from one of our good rangers, Ranger Andy, actually. So what do you think?
No, I think that's a really good question. So I think we're getting close to the biggest an animal living on land can be. So in this case, we've got an animal that weighs weighs nearly 60 tons. And there are some other dinosaurs out there that other people have suggested might be even bigger, like Argentinosaurus, which some people have suggested might weigh 70 or 80 tons.
Yes, yeah.
But we're not so sure about really how much they weighed because we only have a couple of bones of Argentinosaurus. But I think we're not going to start seeing dinosaurs that weigh like 120, 140 tons. That's roughly what a blue whale weighs, which is the largest animal that's ever lived.
And of course that one's in water, so...
It does, so it just bobs about, doesn't need to hold itself up.
So realistically, it's possibly the biggest...
We're near to, I think, the limit of how big a dinosaur could get with something like Patagotitan.
Okay, well, we're going to be putting some pictures and videos up of Patagotitan. And how do you say it?
Patagotitan.
Patagotitan?
Either way works.
Yes, I get it. Potato, and all that. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But so we're going to take a few pictures and we'll show you some of them on the next live. So, excellent. On to the next question. Next question. Now, this is a question asked by a few of our followers, Amelia and Daisy. Now, both of them really want to become paleontologists when they're older. We hear that a lot in children. What does it take to actually become a paleontologist? What sort of route would you sort of guide them down, or any advice you could give them?
Well, the first thing to remember is that if you go out and you find fossils, you're being a paleontologist. So you don't actually need to go out and get a degree or get a job. If you're really interested in it, you can just go out and find them. You don't need big, expensive, fancy labs or equipment. You just need good eyes and patience and a bit of luck.
Yeah.
And just doing that, you might find something that no one's ever seen before. And just by doing that, you're adding to what we know about life of the past. So that's one route of doing it. And a lot of people just do it for fun.
Yes, yeah, totally. I get that, myself included. I literally... I just love dinosaurs. I love prehistoric life in general, and I've never been able to sort of go down the path of sort of becoming a paleontologist like yourself, but just knowing about them and passing it on to the children like we do now. Honestly, I love that answer. It was a lovely answer. Thank you so much. So, Effie was also one of our amazing followers. Her dad, Tom, sent us in another one of the questions. But Effie wants to know, if you want to make a career out of it, for instance, not just a hobby and not just an interest, but an actual career, you know, and make money and travel the world and go on digs and things. How do you go about doing that?
Sure. So if you want to do it as a job, no warning, it doesn't pay all that much. So other alternative careers are available. But if you want to do it as a job, there are a couple of routes to take.
Okay.
So one route is to work in a museum. So you might want to be one of the people that looks after the collections of dinosaurs, that helps with exhibits, that helps with displays, things like that. And that route would involve probably doing a degree. So you'd need to do a degree in either biology or geology, something that tells you either about the history of the Earth or animals.
Okay.
Because they're both kind of important things to know about to work on this. The other thing you might want to do is a degree in museum studies, so that you know how museums work and how you build exhibitions, how you look after things. So any one of those three things could propel you towards a career in curation, looking after the fossils. Then another route you could take is the route that I took, which is a route that becoming a researcher. So that's someone that uses the fossils to find out more about dinosaurs and how they lived and all those kinds of questions about their biology and their behaviour.
Yeah.
And that starts off in a similar way, also need a degree in geology or biology. But then we might need to go that one step further. So for example, I had to do a PhD. So I did another degree after that, where I just studied one particular problem to do with dinosaurs. And then after that point, I had enough qualifications to start applying for a job to be a dinosaur paleontologist. So it takes quite a long time. So usually at least one degree, so 3 or 4 years before you stand a chance of getting that job. Often 2, so maybe 7 or 8 years of training to get to that job. But then once you're in it, you have those qualifications, and then a lot of luck is involved because there aren't many jobs for dinosaur people, unfortunately. So you need a little bit of luck that the right job comes up that you want to do in the right place at the right time. But there are opportunities out there. And obviously you might want to do any of those things for fun as well. You might want to do a degree in those subjects because you love them, and then you end up doing another career instead at the end of it.
So basically, Effie, Lily, Daisy, whoever's watching, Amelia as well, whoever's watching now, work hard in school, right?
That's basically the story.
Work hard in school. And if you haven't got that ability, do not worry, because you can just do it for fun.
You can.
Just like myself.
And people doing it for fun actually find new things, and they actually make a big impact too. So you don't need to be there in college and writing scientific papers to make a difference. You can just be finding
so
really
if things
cool
don't
fossils.
go the right way, you can still do it. I like that. I do like that.
Right
then, let's have a little bit of fun then, Paul. Dinosaurs, they're all very cool. What's your favourite one?
So my favourite one now, I told you earlier that Triceratops
Yeah.
was my favourite one as a kid.
When you was a kid?
But now I've learned more about dinosaurs, seen more dinosaurs. So now it's a fairly obscure little dinosaur called Heterodontosaurus.
Okay.
So and that's probably my favourite dinosaur at the minute.
Yeah. So I know a little bit about this one. Not a lot, a little bit. Don is tooth.
Yep.
So this is the one with lots of different teeth, right?
That's right, yeah.
So, because we're heterodont ourselves, aren't we?
We are, because we have
Because of different teeth.
chopping teeth at the front.
Yeah,
chewing
so
teeth at the
heterodont,
back.
different teeth.
Reptile.
There you go. So why is that your favourite?
So it's because it's cute. There's no really good reason for it. It's a small
cute.
dinosaur.
I
So
love
if
it.
you've ever seen those little kind of deer that live in the forest, it's kind of like a dinosaur version of that. These are little herbivores that would have been only a metre or so long,
Okay.
running around,
Okay.
nipping at plant food, and I think they have little cute faces. That's
So
why I like them.
you like a little cute one?
Yeah,
I like that.
easier to look after.
Very
as
much
well.
so. So a T-Rex probably not the best
Definitely
on a
not
lead.
a T-Rex.
No. And yeah, a bit aggressive.
Yeah. Well,
maybe.
you're constantly pushing like.
Okay, no, I like that
sausages
answer.
into a
I like.
T-Rex.
Okay, let's just change it a little bit. So that was your favourite dinosaur, but let's just have a bit of fun. If you had to have one as a pet, and I mean now, it doesn't matter if it's the king of the dinosaurs, the T-Rex, or a huge Brontosaurus, a pet. What pet dinosaur would you have?
It'd be a similar answer actually. I just like the small cute dinosaurs. So I might go
wise.
for one called Hypsilophodon, which is from the Isle of Wight.
You like teeth?
Yeah, I like ones
Don.
with names after teeth.
Okay, yeah, of course, yeah. You're not partial to a tooth, but you like Don, so iguanodon tooth.
Yeah.
But what's this one?
So Hypsilophodon means high ridged tooth.
Okay.
And it's from the Isle of Wight, so it's kind of local
Local.
British dinosaur. Again, not very big, couple of metres long,
Yeah.
plant eater. And this was the first dinosaur I ever worked on when I was a student.
okay,
So I have a soft
okay,
spot
yeah.
for Hypsilophodon because it was the first thing I worked on when I was a student. So I have a kind of attachment to it. So for that reason, I think it'd be quite loyal. And I think it'd make quite a good pet.
Yeah. Yes. I like you've got an attachment to it. So yeah, that was nice. Okay, so you like small dinosaurs.
Yeah,
I
they're
like it.
much easier to work on, much easier to
Less
lift.
mess to
I
clean up.
used to work on really heavy dinosaurs when I was younger, but as I've got older, I've realised it's better to work on small ones so I can sit at a desk.
Have you ever found a dinosaur bone in the field?
I have, yes, a number of
Ooh.
times. Yes.
What have you found?
So probably the first dinosaur bone I found was actually here in the UK. It was in Scotland.
Okay. Ooh,
And
Scotland.
I found
okay.
a dinosaur tooth on the Isle of Skye, and we don't get that many dinosaur fossils in Scotland.
That's why I just said, ooh, Scotland.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
there aren't so many. So I was really pleased to find that.
That was a good find.
And that tooth lives in museum in Edinburgh.
Oh,
And so
nice.
yeah, so that was
Nice.
probably my first one. And since then, not so many in the UK actually, because I've just not been very lucky here. But I do a lot of fossil collecting in South Africa and Zimbabwe, which are places that I go to do my research work.
Yeah.
And while I've been there, I've been lucky enough to find a bunch of dinosaur bones.
That is so cool. So is South Africa a good place for dinosaur bones?
It is. So they have dinosaurs of different ages from the ones we have here. So
Okay,
in the
yeah.
UK, most of our dinosaurs are famous ones like Iguanodon, are early Cretaceous in age.
Yes, yeah.
The ones that I study in South Africa are quite a lot older. They're from either the Triassic or from the early part of the Jurassic,
Okay.
so much earlier dinosaurs.
Okay, very cool. This next question, the final question, is from one of our amazing rangers, Ranger Tom. Now, there's a lot of talk, especially in the news, of bringing back prehistoric creatures. I've heard of one of the woolly mammoth, for instance, and things like that. What do you think of that? And do you think it's a good idea? Do you think there's any scope? Do you think it's going to happen in the future?
I think a lot of people have been talking about it. So this is particularly for animals that died out not that long ago, like within the last ice ages, so tens of thousands of years rather than millions and millions of years.
Yes.
And there's been a lot of talk about resurrecting mammoths and also about some more recently extinct animals that we know that humans wiped out. So
Okay.
some birds, for example, that humans hunted to extinction only 100 or 200 years ago.
Okay.
So I think in lots of cases, it's not the best idea. And the reason I think it's not a good idea is because although those animals have become extinct, many of them became extinct because of natural processes. So things like mammoths probably died out not so much because of humans, but because of the world warming up and the places that they had to live started disappearing. So you have to think, where would we put the mammoths back to? Is there a suitable habitat for them where they'd be comfortable and they'd find the right kinds of things to eat?
So if the fauna and stuff is correct.
Exactly,
and
so
stuff.
it has to fit back into where it came from. And I think the world might have changed a bit too much to bring things like mammoths back. But I think there's an interesting case for things that humans have definitely made extinct by hunting them.
Okay,
Where they've only been extinct for maybe 50 or 100 years where they could slot back in.
Okay.
So there are a few things that I think it's actually might be a nice idea to try things back, and also a really good way, hopefully, of stopping things that are almost extinct from becoming extinct. So there might be a few animals that are just holding on there with a few of them, and if we can find a way of helping them make other ones, then that might be a really good way of bringing those animals back from the brink of extinction. So I think it's the same kind of technology, and so we could do that.
And this is why we come to speak to the experts. No, it's true, because you know, in my head sometimes I was thinking, no, it's a bad idea, just a bad idea in general. So to me, it's like a no. But now you've sort of explained that, yeah, we could.
But I definitely think it would be a bad idea to bring a Velociraptor or a T.rex back.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I'm with you on that one. And yes, you know, everything's a big T-Rex walking in right now. Wouldn't be a good idea. No, you're right. So, do you know what? I've had an amazing time coming here today, seeing you again. And can we just say a huge thank you to Paul. Paul, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for letting us speak to you today. And I hope we got some of the questions that you guys wanted. So from Paul and myself, thank you so much, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.